Qasim Khan from Department of Computer Science. In part 2 of Unit 7, we will study the remaining part of this unit, including application security and various data type securities. Object connectivity or open database connectivity. Database features that allow application to communicate with different types of database without having to be directly programmed for interaction with every type of database. ODBC, Object Database Connectivity, act as a proxy between application and backup or backend database drivers, giving application programmers greater freedom in creating solution without having to worry about the backend database system. Aggregations or SQL function. SQL function provide a number of functionality that combine record from one or more table to produce potentially useful information. This process is called aggregation. Aggregate function are listed here. Count function return the number of record that meet specific or specified criteria within the database table. Min function return the record with the smallest value for the specified attribute or combination of attributes. Max return the record with largest value for the specified attributes or combination of attributes. Sum return the summation of the value of specified attributes or combination of attribute across all affected records. Average return the average value of the specified attributes combination of attribute across all affected records. Data mining. Large databases known as data warehouses to store large amount of information from a variety of database for use in specialized analysis technique. Technique allow analysts to comb through these data warehouses and look for potential correlated information aimed the historical data. For example, an analyst might discover that the demand for light bulb always increase in winter months and then use this information while planning pricing and promotion strategies and data mining tools. Data and information storage. Data is also processed through a computer storage resources, both memory and physical media. Precaution must be in place to ensure that these basics resources are protected against security vulnerability as well. After all, you would never incur a lot of time and expense to secure the front door of your home and then leave the back door wide open. Storage threats. Information security professionals should be aware of two main threats posed against data storage systems. First is the threat of illegitimate across or access to storage resources exist no matter what type of storage is in use. If administrators do not implement adequate file system security or access control, an intruder might stumble across sensitive data simply by browsing the file system. In sensitive environment, administrators should also protect against attacks that involve bypassing operating system control and directly accessing data, physical storage media to retrieve data. This is best accomplished through the use of an encryption or encrypted file system, which is accessible only through the primary operating system. Knowledge-based system. Two types of knowledge-based system, artificial intelligence system or exist, expert system, neural network system. Seek to embody the accumulated knowledge of mankind on a particular subject. Apply it in consistent fashion to feature decision. Expert systems, when promptly or properly developed and implemented, often make better decisions than some of their human counterpart when focused with routine decision. There are two main computer or components to every expert system. Knowledge based computer system contain the rules known by an expert system. Inference engine analyzes information and the knowledge base to arrive at the appropriate decision. Neural networks, chains of computational unit, are used in attempt to imitate the biological reasoning process of human mind, feed into each other, and eventually sum to produce the desired output as setup. No neural network designed to date come close to having the actual reasoning power of a human mind. Though the use of the delta rules, neural networks are able to learn from experience. Decision support system is a knowledge-based application that analyzes business data and present it in such a way as to make business decision easier for user. It is considered more of an informational application than an operational application. Decision support system is backed by an expert system controlling the database. Security application. Expert system and neural network system have great application in the field of computer security. One of the major advantage offered by these system is their capability to rapidly make consistent decision. Problem in computer security is the inability of system administrator to consistently or thoroughly analyze massive amount of log and audit trials data to look for anomalies. NID is developed by Phillips Porras and his team at the Information and Computing Science System Design Laboratory for Siri International for Information or Application Security. Provide an inference engine and knowledge base that draws information from a variety of audit trials or logs across a network and provide notification to scrutiny administrator when the activity of an individual user varies from their standard usage profile. System development control. Software development security should be considered at every stage of software development, including the software development process assurance to ensure that the security control mechanism built into a new application properly implemented, the security policy throughout the life cycle of that system. Administrator use assurance procedures. Avoiding system failure. Put the system or software and hardware control in place, ensuring that the system will respond appropriately. Limit checks. Perform limit checks by managing data types, data formats, and data lengths when accepting input. Fail secure. Failure state puts the system into high level of security and possibly even disable it entirely until an administrator can diagnose the problem and restore the system to normal operation. An example of such failure response is seen in the Windows operating system with the appearance of blue screen, or called it screen of death, but it is really called a stop error. Software system development life cycle include conceptual definition. The conceptual definition phase of system development involves creating the base basic component or basic concept statement for the system for security reason. Functional requirement determination. Specific system functionality are listed and developer began to think about how the part of the system should interoperate to meet functional requirements. Protection specification development. Security conscious organization also ensure that adequate protection are designed into every system from the earliest stage of the development. Design review. Once the functional and protection specification are completed, let the system designer to do their thing. This is often lengthy process that designer determine exactly how various part of the system will interoperate, how the modular system structure will be laid out, code review walkthrough, system test review, maintenance. This is controlled by the waterfall model in which every stage is encountered. Next is spiral model, multiple iteration of waterfall style process in spiral way. Software capability maturity model contends that all organizations engage in software development involve through a variety of maturity phases in sequential manner or fashion. Level 1 initialization or initial, level 2 repeatable basic life cycle management processes are introduced. Level 3 define software developers operate according to a set of formal documented software development processes. Level 4 managed quantitative measures are utilized to gain detailed understanding of the development process. Level 5 optimizing, a process of continuous improvement occurs. Ideal model include initiating business reason behind the change are outlined, support is built for initiative, and the appropriate infrastructure is put in place. Second is diagnosing. Engineer analyze the current state of the organization and make general recommendation for change. Establishing take the general recommendation from the diagnosing phase and develop a specific plan of action that helps achieve those changes. Acting, develop solution and then test, refine and implement them. And fifth is learning. Continuously analyze the effort to determine whether desired goal are achieved and when necessary propose new action to put the organization back on course. Another is Gantt chart or part. Gantt chart is type of bar chart that shows the interrelationship over time between projects and schedules. Software tests. You can utilize 3 testing methods or ideologies for software testing. White box testing. White box testing examine the internal logical structure of program, while the black box testing examines the input and output of program without focusing on the internal logical structure of the application. Testing data method. Test data method examine the content of the system testing in order to locate untested program logic. Security control architecture. All security system implement some sort of security control architecture. At the hardware and operating system level, control should ensure enforcement of basic security principles. The following section examines several basic control principles that should be enforced in a secure computing environment. Process isolation. This guarantees that processes cannot access each other reserved memory areas and protect against confidentiality violation and or intentional and unintentional modification of data by an unauthorized process. Hardware segmentation is a technique that implements process isolation at the hardware level by enforcing memory access constraints. Protection rings. Operating system provides some ring type structure to protect the program's data and utilities, facilitating secure operation by restricting processes to running an appropriate security ring. An illustration of the 4-layer ring protection scheme supported by microprocessor developers. Level 0 operating system itself reside. This ring contains the security kernel, the core set of operating system services that handle all user application requests for access to system resources. The kernel also implements the reference monitor, an operating system component that validate all user requests for access to resources against access controls schemes. Level 0 processes have full control of all system resources. It is essential to ensure that they are fully verified and validated before implementation. Level 1 and Level 2 contain device driver and other operating system services that provide higher level interface to system resources. Level 3 represent the security layer where user application and processes reside. This layer is commonly referred to as user mode, user level, or protected mode, and application running here are no permitted direct access to operating system resources. Abstraction tool drawn from the object-oriented software development model that can be extrapolated to apply to design of all types of information system. Security modes. Compartmented security mode may process 2 or more type of compartmented information. Dedicated security mode authorized to process only a specific classification level at a time, and all system user must have clearance and need to know that information. Multi-level security mode authorized to process information at more than one level of security. System high security mode authorized to process only information that all system users are cleared to read and have valid need to know. Service level agreement SLA providing services to internal or an external customer maintain an appropriate level of service agreed upon by the both service provider and the vendor. Issues commonly addressed in SLA system uptime as the percentage of overall operating time, maximum consecutive downtime in second per minute, etc. Peak load, average load, responsibility for diagnostics, failure time or failover time if redundancy is in place. Thank you for today's lectures. Today we will conclude with this 7th unit of information security program that we have studied securities issues. For further study, you can study these on internet that provide video lectures. Allah Hafiz.